As we've been reporting on CWR for the last couple of weeks, thousands of new students have been settling into uni life at both Coventry and Warwick universities. And with that, enjoying the odd night out, I guess, as well during Freshers Week. It's a bit of a must, isn't it? Recent stats, though, show drink spiking is on the rise. There's no single offence that covers spiking, but in the West Midlands, the number of crimes containing the word spiked dropped from 24 in 2019 to just 12 in 2020. That, of course, is the year of the lockdown. However, since then, it has shot up incredibly from 12 in 2020 to 83 in 2021 and 91 last year. And according to the charity Stamp Out Spiking, 97% of cases aren't even reported. It's the BBC's Georgia Gill.
Well, drink spiking has been a well-known issue for many years in clubs and bars, but a lot of the stories that we hear are about students being targeted on nights out. It's where so-called date rape drugs, usually GHB or Rohypnol, are dropped into drinks without people knowing. Both drugs can be used to commit physical and sexual assaults, as they can sedate or incapacitate a victim, making them more vulnerable to attack. Spiking by injection is a more recent thing over the last couple of years. Here in the West Midlands, figures show spiking has been on the rise over a number of years, but it's difficult to get a real handle on exact numbers. I've been speaking to these freshers at Coventry Uni.
If I have a bottle, I put my thumb on the bottle. Yeah, I never get past a point where I'm not sure of my surroundings because I'm just a bit cautious.
It is a scary aspect because it's not just that now. There's also they're injecting them with needles. You can get all the things for the bottles and stuff like that, but if someone wants to do something, they're going to do it.
I think everyone's affected by it. I actually knew someone who had their drink spiked in college. He was very out of it for quite a few days. I don't think they attended class for some of them, in fact.
So does that make you more wary when you're out?
Yes.
I went to this Bangor night. My friend, she did basically say to me, don't leave your drink on table because it does happen often here. So I think make sure your drink's not left, unattended, have someone there, in regards to, keeping it safe.
Are you worried about it?
Not really, because we're quite good with looking after ourselves, really. Keep hold of our drinks the whole night. If we think anything's wrong with the drink, then we just won't drink it.
Well, Pub Watch work with licensed venues across Coventry and Warwickshire to protect people from spiking and violence and disorder. They've told us that they work closely with the police and community safety teams and are committed to raising awareness on the issue. Phil Rooney runs the HMV Empire. It's a popular venue with students.
We have our spike caps, which are free and behind the bar, silver foil lids, sticky back plastic that go over your drinks. A lot of the kids, though, today are really aware of spiking. The younger generation that come in here tend to look after themselves quite well. They won't put their drink on the side. They'll drink their drink and then they'll go to the toilet. Obviously, we've got SIA roaming all around the building, and of course, if we see something or somebody in distress, we'll deal with that as part of running a good and safe business. The awareness of it now is so good amongst the younger generation that they're sort of fighting back in a way.
Gareth Dorr is from Leamington-based Sip Savvy, who have designed drink spiking tests.
It's been well reported that drink spiking incidents are through the roof in universities, but sadly only 8% of all incidents ever get reported. So the problem is much, much bigger than any statistics will ever show. People can get these drugs quite easily, and it's very sad to think of the mindset of people who not only go on there to purchase these things, but actually go through with spiking somebody. I mean, it's a complete violation of somebody's body.
Incredible, isn't it, that that is going on, and cases are on the rise. And as I say there, 97% of cases aren't even reported. BBC CWR's Georgia Gill speak to the chief executive of Stamp Out Spiking. Dawn Dines is live with us this morning on CWR. Morning, Dawn.
Good morning, Phil. What a frightening report that was.
Well, it's real, isn't it? And it hopefully brings home to our audience and our listeners exactly to what extent this is such a problem. Let me just get to that statistic, because it's your organisation, Stamp Out Spiking, that have come up with this. 97% of cases not being reported.
Yes.
Why is that the case? Why is it not being reported?
Well, do you know what, Phil? This was a few years ago, before this became a big sort of media sensation, and spiking is now, thank goodness, on the agenda. It's on the map. People know it's happening. So we've been campaigning for the last 2 decades. So we know only too well that it's been going on. Hugely underreported crime. And when we delved into those stats and we went back to the people who'd filled in our survey, they sort of came back and said they were embarrassed, they were ashamed, that there was no easy way of reporting it. And then when we as an organisation delved even deeper, we thought, right, let's contact every police force across the UK. And I think there's like 43 different police forces. And we asked for their freedom of information data, and they couldn't give it to us. And we were like, why? And then that's when we realised there is no specific offence code. So basically, it's virtually impossible to collect any real data on this crime. And then when we done our national survey, and 97% of victims didn't report it to the police, we were like, this is why we need a clear and concise message. There is zero tolerance. And listening to those students, isn't that dreadful for young people to be talking like that?
Yeah, well, I have a daughter who's just left sixth form and started out in life, likes going out, likes going out clubs and partying, and she's out and about in Leamington quite a lot at the weekend. And I do tell her to never leave a drink unattended, and some of these sort of key messages, which we'll hopefully get to throughout the morning. Do we know from the research you've done what kind of split there is, percentage-wise, of girls, boys over this? Right, okay.
Right, so first of all, everyone's saying, this mainly happens to 18 to 24-year-olds, it's female. How do we know that? Because we don't have that data. And what I can tell you is that over the past 20 years, I've spoken to just as many men, maybe more men than women, that this crime has affected. It has no prejudice. Spiking can happen at any time, any place, anywhere. We've had reports back, people have been spiked at weddings. We've had reports, people have been spiked at funerals. And it's not just happening, as one of the students said earlier, it's not just happening through drinks. Luckily, that is the majority, so we know where most of it is happening. But also with sharing vapes, it's so easy now to spike a vape. We've had the injection spikings, which luckily they're minuscule on the whole scheme of things. But with drink spiking, for example, Phil, with your daughter going out, they've got these little caps now called spikies that you can put in the top of a bottle. We've also got stop tops. There's the nightcap. So there's a few different drink protectors that you can use. Never share a vape. It's so easy for somebody to say, oh, here's my blackcurrant, do you want to try it? And that's as quickly as you can get spiked. Sharing roll-up cigarettes, that's another quick, easy way that you can get spiked. So it's just being a bit more aware, we believe, of your own personal well-being, that you just think, well, hold on a minute, this is a stranger. Am I going to do that from a stranger? No, you're not. And, for nightclubs and bars and stuff like that, we've got the first accredited training courses now in the Southwest. On a national basis. We started in the Southwest, and we're coming up to Warwickshire in November, actually. We've met up with a great organisation called Compass, and we've got Stuart Haste, who's the CEO, and we're going to be coming up and training trainers in Warwickshire so that we can disseminate all of this training. So we're going to know the signs, the symptoms, a typical ways that people are doing spiking. We're going to give an immediate call to action, policies, procedures, risk assessments. So at least everyone is forearmed with exactly how this dreadful, spiking incidents are taking place. And then we can safeguard and educate as many people as possible. And that gives the victim a much better chance of not being taken off when these date rape drugs take effect, because you become compliant. You can't put up a fight, and then you're left with no memory what's happened to you. And that's what's happening.
Dawn Dines, Chief Executive of Stamp Out Spiking, with us this morning on BBC CWR.